Question 10 is also about antiderivatives. It's from lesson 5.1, but here we find the constant of integration, the C value. So before I continue, many students get confused. What is this f of x, f dash of x? Like, how exactly can you understand this? So let me take an example, x power 2. Let me integrate this. What is the answer? The integration would be x power 3 by 3 plus c. Okay, imagine I'll consider this as the function f of x. Now, what is the derivation f dash of x? This is f of x. Derivation would be this 3 comes down and it reduces by 2 divided by 3 itself. This was already there. Plus constant of any number, right? Constant 0. It cancels off. What's remaining? F derivative of x is x power 2. So this is the question. So this is f dash of x. So whenever they have given you this here, f dash of x, and then they tell you to find f of x, that means you are integrating this. So when you have a derived function, when you integrate it, you will get the function before it, that is f of x function. Here then we have f of 0 is equal to 4. Once you derive, say, let me just solve this quickly here. You have 3e to the power x plus x squared by 2 plus c. This is what? F of x, because we integrated this, antiderived. And then now what is given? F of 0. If we consider all the x values to be 0, what happens? It will be 3e to the power 0 plus 0 squared by 2 plus c. What is f of 0 value? It is 4. That means over here we have 3 into e to the power 0 is 1 plus 0 plus c. This is 3. So let's take 3 to the other side. It will be 4 minus 3 is equal to c, or 1 is equal to c. So the constant of integration is 1, and the final answer over here would be f of x is equal to 3 e to the power x plus x squared by 2. But instead of writing c, what do we write? 1, because they have told this particular function at the point 0, x is 0 and y is 4, right? So that will be the final answer. You can see here it's 3 e to the power x plus x squared by 2 plus 1. So that is the method. But even over here, you can easily solve it in the calculator. How can we do that? You need to know all the 4 options, and since it's the electronic part, yes, you can easily solve it up. Let's take our calculators and see how to do it. Here now, the options can be 4 different options altogether, or you might have 2 similar answers, but only the C value might vary, because the C value is found from this, right? I tell you to solve both of them. No matter what, this part, leave the constant. Only the c is the issue, right? C is found from this. These parts will match the given question. Why? Let me show you. Let me first put the given question, 3e to the power x plus x. And what do? We'll calculate this at 2. And what is the answer? It's 24.167. Now, if I derive this, let me derive all the 3 options. You can ignore the constant or put the constant. It's absolutely fine. 3e to the power x plus x squared, that is alpha x squared by 2 plus 1. And x value will be 2. It will be the same. It's 24.167. So now this is the correct answer. Yes. But what if you have one more option, say like this? You have the same thing, 3e to the power x plus x squared by 2 minus 1. This is also there. Now, if you just change this over here to minus 1, let me just change it properly. Minus, not 11, minus 1. It's going to give me the same answer. So now this is the issue. Which is the correct one? So of course you can eliminate a lot of options by the calculator method, but not all in such cases. So what you do is you see which have these 2 terms same, and then you need to use this particular equation in the first 2 terms only, not the constant term. So in the first 2 terms of this or this, it should be the same, right? What I'll do is I'll type 4 will be equal to whatever these 2 terms Wherever x is there, the constant, just ignore it. Constant will become c here, both the cases, plus. Oh, don't write minus, it's always plus here, okay? Because whatever is c, c can be minus, but this we just add it to it. Now here, e to the power x, what is x value? X is 0 plus, again 0 square plus 2 plus c. Now this is 0 over here, it's 3, so take the 3, 4 minus 3 equals c. The answer is 1. So that is the thing. Now, if you're thinking in deeply, you can argue, why can't this be minus? Even if this is minus c, it is absolutely correct. Yes, it's of course it's correct. So such problem should not come. Such option should not come. But just in case if it comes, make sure you take this plus c, because we generally take it as plus c. But even if you take minus c, it should be absolutely correct. It doesn't matter. The constant can be any constant. But at this instant, since we are given over here, just consider plus c when you're solving. Let's do this one as well. So here, let's take our calculators. First thing, I'll just type the given question over here. That is 4 cosine, sorry, no need of shift or anything, just cosine x. That's it. Now, what is the value if you calculate it at 2? Is this correct? Yes, because it's already in radian mode. The calculate, see, it's in radian mode. It'll be the correct answer itself. But make sure when you're solving these calculator problems, I mean the calculator tricks, always stick to radian mode, because you might have cosine, sine. Doesn't matter these values, you will get the correct answer in radian as well. If it's e to the power x and everything, you will get the correct answer. So just keep the radian mode on. Now, next thing, here, okay, this is the correct answer, right? Let me derive it. 4 sine x. I'm not going to put the constant. Even if I put it, doesn't make a difference. It's the same answer. So this is correct. Now, if the constant is different, then I will see this is given to us. So here it will be 3 equals to 4 sine, what is x value? It's 0. Now, how would we solve it? What is sine 0? Okay, this is plus c. I forgot that. Sine 0 is 0. So it's 0 plus c is equal to 3. So 3 is equal to c. This is the correct answer. So c value is 3. That's why we added 3 here. It's like 70%, 80% of the chances that all your 4 options will be different. You should not have the same. Okay, you must have different options, but just in case there are 2 options with 4 sine x, then make sure you do this. Here again, now here it's not a direct thing. I mean, it's the same method, but you have to double derive. Now, in such cases, there is no way you can use calculator, sadly. But double derivation problems won't be complicated, they'll be simpler. Okay, here you have to use antiderivative rules and solve, because look, the answer is f of x. There is no way you can jump over here. Whatever you do, derive anything, you can't get 2 steps ahead. In your calculator, you can just make 1 step behind. So if it was only once derivative, yes, you can get that, but not twice. Now let me solve this here. First thing, integrate f double derivative of x. That should give you f dash of x or f prime of x. So let me integrate it. Directly I'll write over here because it's electronic. You do not need any steps. It'll be 12x to the power 3 by 3 plus 2e to the power x itself plus c. Now this is going to cancel out and become fx to the power 3 plus 2e to the power x plus c. Now, what is the C value? This is important before you go to the next step. Because why? Next step, again, we have to integrate it. Any constant will get an x term, isn't it? So here, I will substitute x of 0 and this answer equals to 2. So 2 will be equal to 4x power, sorry, not x power, it's 0 power. This all x values become 0 power 3. Plus 2e to the power 0 plus c. This cancels off because it's 0. Here we have only 2. So 2 equals 2 plus c. 2 to the other side will be 0 is equal to c. So here this is 0, or you can just write this much only. So this is it. This is f prime of x single dash. Now again let us integrate f prime of x and you will get f of x. So we are double times integrating it. So now let's integrate the above one. It will be 4x power 4 by 4 plus 2 e to the power x itself. But then this plus c here, this cancels off. You have x power 4 plus 2 e to the power x plus c. Now here, what is the second condition for f of 0? For f prime of 0, we had 2. F of 0, we have 3. So here 3 equals 0 to the power 4 plus 2 e to the power 0 plus c. Now we will cancel this 0 off, and this is 2 into 1 because e to the power 0 is 1. Anything raised to the power 0 is 1. 3 minus 2 is equal to c, that is 1 equals c. So the final answer for f prime of 0 is x power 4 plus 2 e to the power x plus 1. So this is the correct answer. There is no way you can jump in the calculator from here to here. So make sure you get the correct answer, because in your calculator, if you use the calculator method, you'll just get a single value. You won't get equations. So you can't jump from here directly to 2 times before. So you need to solve them. Again, here as well, let's quickly solve this out. I'm just gonna solve it. 20. Okay, it's gonna be f prime of x, that is equal to 20x to the power 4 by 4 plus 2. Now here we have e to the power 2x, but there's 2, so it'll be divided by 2, isn't it? Plus c. So here the simplified version would be x power 4 plus e to the power 2x plus c. Now we have minus 3 equals, the first part is going to be 0, second part is going to be 1. I directly write e to the power 2 times 0 will be 1 plus c. Why? Because over here we have to substitute 0. 0 raised to power anything is 0, multiplied by 0 is 0, it's gone. E to the power 2 times 0 will be e power 0, that is 1 plus c. Take it to the other side, it will be minus 4 plus c, because 1 becomes minus 1 to the other side. This value will substitute it back. That's going to be f prime of x, 5x raised to power 4 plus e to the power 2x minus 4. Now we will find f of x, not prime, f of x, only f of x, by integrating the above. We get, see, if we integrate f prime of x, we will get f of x. So it will be 5x raised to 5 by 5 plus e raised to 2x divided by 2 minus 4x plus c. It's going to get bigger, but since they are all power rules, they are pretty simple. Now then, here let us cancel and simplify how much we can. It will be x power 5 plus half e raised to 2x minus, that's 4x itself, plus c. What is the condition given? It is 2 equals 2 over here whenever x is 0. So the first one will be 0 plus half. Now what is e raised to 2 to the power 0? It's going to be e raised to power 0, that's 1. So I'll just write half multiplied by 1 minus 0 plus c. 0, 0 is gone. Half to the other side will be 2 minus half equals c. What is 2 minus half? It's 1.5. But generally, we won't have 1.5 in the options. It'll be 3 by 2, because 3 by 2 is 1.5. Or you can just put 1.5 in the calculator. It'll give you the fraction form. That is 3 by 2. So here we go. We have to write this. Okay, I forgot to write. F of x will be equal to x raised to 5 plus half e raised to 2x minus 4x plus 3 by 2. So that should be the final answer, as you can see here. That's it. And over here, that was the first derivative, integration first time, second time integration. Now this question is not like the similar one, the previous one. Here you can see there is no f derivative of 0. Last time we had f derivative of 0 is equal to something and only f. So we could solve both the constant of integrations. But here if you look carefully, there are only f and f of 3 and f of 0. So how can we solve this? Let's first derive it two times. When we derive this first, it becomes f prime of t. It's not of x now, it's of t. So here you will have 2 times t because t is the variable, plus 2t squared divided by 2 plus c. But I'm going to write c1 because we will do second time integration and then we will have c2. So the answer over here would be 2t plus this 2 and 2 cancels, t power 2 plus c1. That is f prime of t, but I don't know the constant of integration. Let me integrate it again. F of t now. Here it's going to be 2t power 2 by 2 is equal to t power 3 by 3. Sorry, it's not is equal to, it's plus c1 times t. Now c is c1 over here can be anything, can be 2 or 1 or 5, or it can be 0 as well, but we do not know. So imagine if it was say 3, it would be 3 times t, right, if there's nothing. So that's why I'm just going to write t plus now the second constant of integration. Why? Because we have integrated twice. This was the first constant of integration, now the second one. Now then let me simplify this. F of t is equal to t power 2 plus t power 3 by 3 plus c1t plus c2. Now whenever we have 0, can you see this f of 0? All the t gets cancelled off and you can easily find the constant of integration of c2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this first. 2 equals, all these are going to be 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus c2. So what is c2? 2 is equal to c2. Here then f of t can be written as t power 2 plus t power 3 by 3 plus c1 times t plus 2. But still it's not all done. Why? Because I still don't have the c1 right over here. Now I will substitute the next given condition. This condition says x is 3, or the t value over here is all 3, and the total final value will be 2. So it's 2 is equal to 3 power square plus 3 cube by 3 plus c1 times 3 plus 2. So you need to put all this in the, you can put it directly in the calculator and get the answer, or you can solve it manually. So here 2 and 2 cancels off when it goes to the other side, and then you have 0 into 9, and over here 3 cancels, so you have squared again plus 9, and over here c1 times 3. 18 to the other side is minus 18 is equal to c1 times 3, and over here when you cancel it, minus 6 is equal to c1. I'm so sorry, it's not c1, it's c2, isn't it? Yeah, it's c1, sorry. Yeah, I got confused. C2 was already found out, and c1 is minus 6. So it is t squared plus t to the power 3 by 3 plus okay, this plus will become minus because it's minus 6 t plus 2. So this is the accurate answer. Now here I'll show you in the calculator how we can solve this directly. Here we can just type it out entirely. 2 equals 3 squared plus 3 cubed, 3 to the power 3, and over here use the fraction symbol, divided by 3 plus this is unknown variable x, that's c1, multiplied by 3 plus 2. Press shift and solve, and then press equal to, your answer is minus 6. So that is how we solve it up. The final answer you can see. Now they have written over here t to the power 3 first. That's absolutely fine, you know. You can write this is also correct, this is also correct. And that's it. That's the answer. So similarly, please do try the other problems. I'll do these quickly. First derivative would be 4 times t plus 6t squared by 2 plus c1. Here it's going to be 4t plus 3t power 2 plus c1. I can't use any of these conditions to find the C1. So I directly do the second time integration. So it'll be f of t, that is 4t power 2 by 2 plus 3t power 3 by 3 plus c1 times t plus c2. When we simplify, it's going to be 2t squared plus t to the power 3 plus c1t plus c2. Here, none of them are 0, isn't it? So which one would you use? Let us start solving with one of it. Okay. So here, this is a little complicated. F of t, right? Here we do not have any 0. If it was 0, we could easily find C2 and then we can find C1. But now which one do we do? What do we do? Among 1 and minus 1, 1 is relatively easier. So what we'll do is we'll put 1. So what happens here is t will become 1 and you'll have C1 and C2 together. You can add them up. So let's substitute. 3 will be equal to whatever this f of t is 3, right? What is the t values? It'll be 1 now. It'll be 2 times 1 power 2 plus 1 power 3 plus c1 times 1 plus c2. Here it is 3 equals 2 plus 1 plus c1 plus c2. Now 2 plus 1 is 3. When it goes to the other side, it's going to be 0. That is equal to c1 plus c2. Okay, C1 and C2, when we add up, it's 0. So now let's put the second condition over here. That's going to be minus 2. That will be equal to 2 times minus 1 the whole square plus minus 1 the whole cubed plus C1 times minus 1 plus C2. Now let's try simplifying this. Minus 2 equals, now minus 1 squared, this will be positive 1, so it's going to be 2 itself. But this is power 3, so it's minus 1. Minus 1 to the power 3 will be minus. If it's odd number here, it will be negative sign remains. If it's even number, it will be positive. Minus C1, because minus C1 times minus 1 is minus C1 plus C2. Now let's simplify how much we can. This 2 to the other side, 1 to the other side. Over here, you can just solve it. 2 minus 1 is 1. It will be minus 3 is equal to minus C1 plus C2, right? Now we have to use these two equations and solve. What does that mean? Here, you can, what I'll do is you can just choose any one term to take it to the other side. If I take C1 to the other side, what's it gonna be? C2 will be equal to minus C1, right? Or you can take the other way around. C1 to the other side will be C1 is equal to minus C2. Up to you. Minus 3 will be equal to minus C1. Now what is C2? Again it will be minus C1 because C2 is minus C1. So now we can simplify here. I'll just write it out over here. Minus 3 is equal to minus 2 C1. Take minus 2 to the other side, it will be minus 3 by minus 2 is equal to C1, or C1 is equal to 3 by 2. That is the first value for C1. Then what is C2? See, over here we have already this condition. C2 is equal to negative C1, right? So C2 will be minus of C1 is 3 by 2. That is C2 is equal to minus 3 by 2. So these are the two conditions. So the final answer f of t would be equal to 2t to the power 2 plus t to the power 3 plus C1 is 3 by 2t. Now it's going to be minus C2 is minus 3 divided by 2. So that must be the answer. Here we go. As you can see, it's positive and the last one is negative. And remember, if you do it correctly, it'll be exactly the first one. C1 will be positive, next one will be negative. So that's the conditions. Now here we have just again double derivative. So we are integrated twice to get the function f of x, isn't it? So that's it. Let me solve this out quickly. 3. What about the sign over here when we integrate it? It'll be minus cosine x plus 4x power 3 by 3. And then now this is not the answer, plus c. And again, now over here the conditions are not given. Let's just integrate it again. That's it. So here it'll be minus 3. Okay, I'm writing it again. Now we will integrate it again. This first time is done. Let me integrate it again. It's gonna be 3 minus cosine is just sine x plus 4 x power 4 by 3 times 4 plus c1 x plus c2. Now then we have minus 3 sine x, this 4 cancels, plus x power 4 by 3 plus c1 x plus c2. There are no conditions, so that must be the answer. Yes, that's it. I was wondering, satisfying the conditions, and there are no conditions mentioned. So this is it. Now the next one as well. Over here, what's going to happen? First time when you derive it, it's going to be x 3 by 2 by 3 by 2, because x power half, when you increase it, you're integrating it, so add it by 1. So that's the answer. And over here, when you derive cosine, it's just sine, positive sign, plus c1. And now this must be added up again. See, now I'm going to rearrange and write this because fractions are going to be a little messier otherwise. It'll be 2x 3 by 2 by 3 minus 2 sine x plus c. Now here we have 2 by 3 x. Now add one more. It's going to be 5 by 2, isn't it? It's 1.5 plus 1 plus 1 is 2.5. It's 5 by 2 by 5 by 2 minus 2 sine, okay, not sine, it's minus cosine x plus, this is c1x plus c2. Now then this, let's rearrange and write these. So here this denominator remains with this and this goes up, so it'll be 2 times 2, it's 4. I'll write it one by one. 2 by 3 multiplied by 2 by 5 x 5 by 2 minus and minus becomes plus 2 cosine x plus c1x plus c2, and this is 4 by 15 x 2.5 5 by 2 plus 2 cosine x plus c1x plus c2. That must be the answer. I've cramped it up over there. You can see here, this is it. So it's 4 by 15 x 5 by 2 plus, because minus and minus becomes plus over here, and that's the answer. Here now we have got triple derivative, so we have to integrate it 3 times. Just keeps on going and going and going. So it's not that difficult. If you know the rules, it's very simple, isn't it? So this is x minus 3. Okay, this is the question. We will have this as the question. We'll integrate this now. It's gonna be 4x minus x raised to minus 2, because we add 1, isn't it? Minus 2 by minus 2 plus c1. Again we have 4x power 2 by 2. This minus 2 cancels, so it will be just plus x. No, let me write it over here. X minus 1 divided by minus 2 times minus 1. Why? Because whatever is the answer, I write it down. And over here it's x plus c2. Okay, let me simplify this before going the next step. I have to integrate it thrice. 2 times is done. It's 2x squared. This minus remains because this cancels off and 2 is gone. It will be x power minus 1 plus c1x plus c2. You can just put this all in calculator. You will get minus 1 here. This 2 cancels. Minus minus cancels. This minus remains, and that's it. Now let's integrate it once again. It's going to be 2x power 3 by 3 minus. Now what is 1 by x raised to minus 1? Don't think it's 0, because divided by 0 is not possible, right? It's natural logarithm x, isn't it? This is the rule. Remember, integration of x power minus 1 is ln x plus c dx. So that's the thing. Basically, x raised to minus 1 is 1 by x, and derivation of ln x, natural logarithm x, is 1 by x. So it's the inverse of those, right? And then over here we have x squared by 2 plus c2x plus c3. So this is the final answer. What about over here? So this one, it'll be minus cosine x. This is the first time. Okay, f double derivative of x will be minus cosine x minus e to the power x plus c1. First derivative would be, I'm integrated once, second time antiderivative now. It'll be minus sine x minus e to the power x plus c1x plus c2. Now lastly, the function f of x will be given by the final integration. It will be minus cosine, minus and minus will be plus. Or let me do the step here. Minus and minus, minus e to the power x plus c1x squared by 2 plus c2x plus c3. Now the final answer would be cosine x, because minus and minus will be plus e to the power x c1x squared by 2 plus c2x plus c3. That is the answer. So here we go. The answers minus ln. This is ln or natural logarithm. You can call it anything. And here we go. This one was pretty easy. Why? Because it was just e to the power x. It remains the same, right? It doesn't matter. And left side, it's sine, cosine, sine, cosine. Only the signs needs to be remembered. So over here, this is it. And then over here, these are the constants. Now, finally, the last three problems. Determine the position function if the velocity function is v of t, that's given over here, and the initial position is s. Now, in the term 1, if you remember the derivatives, we had position s of t. We derived this, s derivative of t would be velocity function, right? And if you had derived velocity, that was the acceleration function. Now, what do we have? We have velocity. We need to integrate it and get back to the position. That's it. So, integration of velocity would be equal to the position, because derivation of the position is the velocity. So let's integrate this. Basically, we are dealing with antiderivatives, integrals or integration, right? So we have most of the functions which are given, we need to just integrate them. So 3 minus 12. Now here you can use the calculator. Why? Because it's only single derivative. If it's more than one, single time integration. If you're anti-deriving it more than once, you cannot use calculator. Here you can, but since we know how to solve it, I'll just use the rules. Here we need to integrate this with respect to time dt. So it'll be 3t minus 12 t power 2 by 2 plus c. And here we go, it'll be 3t minus 6t squared plus c. Now here we have the initial position of 3, that is equal to 3 times 0. This s of t will be equal to, wherever t is there, you put 0 minus 6 times 0 squared plus c. So the value of c is 3. So the final answer, the initial position function s of t is given as 3t minus 6t squared plus 0. Or in your options, it can also be minus 6t squared plus 3t plus 0. Or you don't need to write 0 altogether, it will be only so much. Okay, sorry, it's not 0, it's 3. What am I writing over here? It is 3 in both. The c value, the initial, the constant of integration is 3. What about the next one? Same thing, but here it's e to the power minus t. It's not just t. Now the sign will be there. Okay, the minus sign will be there. So when we integrate it first time, it'll be s of t. That's going to be minus 3 e to the power minus t. Why? Because when we integrate e to the power minus t, the minus sign comes out, right? Minus 2t plus c. Now substitute 0 over here and over here. So it's going to be 0 equals minus 3 e to the power 0. Minus 0 is 0 itself. And we have minus 2 times 0 plus c. Now what happens here? This is 1. So we have minus 3 plus 0 plus c is equal to 0. This to the other side will be 3 is equal to c. Even over here, the constant of integration is 3 itself. So here we have to write minus 3 e to the power t sorry, it's minus t, minus 2 times t plus 3. This is the answer. So that's how we solve it. The first one was, okay, it was written like this, 3t minus 6t squared plus 3. And the second one over here, we have minus 3 e to the power minus t minus 2t plus 3. And now the final problem, here we have to double derive, integrate, antiderive. So why? Because acceleration is given. When we integrate acceleration, let's do it over here. 3 minus cosine t plus 1, that is 1 becomes t plus c1. What happens here? We get velocity, and they have given the velocity value. So over here, let me rewrite it. Minus 3 cosine t plus c1. This 0 is equal to minus 3 cosine times 0 plus 0 plus c1. And then here, all you need to do is solve it. Minus cosine 0 is 1, right? So it'll be minus 3 plus c1. So 3 is equal to c1, the first constant of integration. Let's write it out over here. Minus 3 cos t plus 3. This is the velocity function. Now to find the position function, you need to just integrate this again. It'll be minus 3 sine t plus t squared by 2 plus 3t plus c. And now this is actually c2, but since we are already put the constant of integration, we can take them as c and c itself. Now here what we do is we use the second condition. So 4 will be equal to minus 3 times sine 0 plus 0 squared by 2 plus 3 times 0 plus c2. So this 0 is 0, 0, over here also 0. We get 4 is equal to c2. So the answer over here would be, for the position function, minus 3 sine, over here, t plus t squared by 2 plus 3 times t plus 4. So that's the final answer. From the acceleration, we can get position function. There's no calculator method for double integrations, so you have to do it manually using rules. So here we go, it is minus sine t, and this is, now over here I realized they have not considered this 1. If you have this 1, it'll be t, isn't it? So they have not considered it. That's the reason why the answer is different, but this is the accurate answer which I've written over here. All the solution sets are not exactly accurate at times. So here the velocity function, what happens is, this is correct, minus 3 cosine t plus t. Why? Because what is the antiderivative of 1? It'll be t, isn't it? Plus c1. The 1 is missing, therefore they miss this term entirely, the t squared. This, when you integrate it, t squared by 2 is missing here. Okay, I thought that was the last problem. There's one more problem. Let's quickly solve it. It's the same like the previous one. Here, let's find the velocity function. It will be t to the power 3 by 3 plus t plus c1. And here, the velocity function is given. The condition for the velocity, initial velocity is 4 equals 0 by 3 plus 0 plus c1. So c1 will be 4. So velocity function is t to the power 3 by 3 plus t plus 4. Now what about the position? Acceleration is already given. Position function, you just integrate it again. It'll be 4 x power t to the power 4. 3 times 4 will be 12. I'm directly writing it over here, and it's t power 2 by 2 plus 4. It's 4. That's over here, 4t plus c2. And now let's solve this one. It's 0 is equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus c2. So c2 is equal to 0. Why? Because x and y both are 0. So this is all cancelled. Only c2 remains, and that's equal to 0. So the position function would be t to the power 4 by 12 plus t squared by 2 plus 4t only, because that's plus 0. We don't need to write that. So here we go. That'll be the answer. And over here it's accurate because they have considered this 1 and they have written this t here, so everything will be all right. So that's the final answer. That is the end of this question. I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, please consider rewatching the video or posting your doubts in the comments. I hope you all will head on to the next video.